to adulthood? And the answer is 78%.
You're very kind, thank you very much. Welcome back to Thursday's show with Nadine Dorries, Terry Christian and our special guest, Roxana Gabam Shahidi. Still to come this morning, we're asking, well, it's the flip of yesterday's discussion about not going to the gym. We're asking if shame, embarrassment is the best motivator. I mean, if you were made to feel embarrassed, hate the way how fat you'd become, if you were made to feel just so full of shame, would you be more likely to put things right, or would you ultimately just seek comfort in more chocolate bars? 0207 173 5555 is the number. You're there to share. But first, with a vegan, a very healthy-looking vegan, as we said, like Roxana on the panel. I thought it'd be interesting.
That idea that I might be grey and withering
away.
I
often say vegans are all sort of pale and pasty-faced.
I know, and wear sandals and socks.
Not enough energy to pick up the phones without fainting.
There's time yet, you know.
There's time. Anyway, I thought we would find out what you at home, ordinary people, think of those on comparatively unconventional diets who force their children to follow suit. If mum and dad are dedicated veggies, are they wrong to raise their kids the same way? And what if they're vegans, you know, and shun all meat and fish and byproducts? 162,000 Brits are vegan. Anything between 1.5 to 2 million more are vegetarian. And it's said around 2/3 will or would want to raise their kids the same way from birth. Now, it's entirely natural, I guess, to think what's best for me must be best for my child, apart from smoking. But isn't there a risk you're letting ethical decisions, 42% of vegans shun meat for ethical reasons, colour your views of what may be best for your sprogs and their health? Many academics and paediatricians worry that you are. They say mums and dads who inflict their lentil-eating ways on their offspring risk depriving their children of vital minerals. B12 is a famous vitamin that can be hard to get from foods other than meat and dairy. Dr. Alistair Sutcliffe, lecturer in paediatrics at University College London, says human ancestry shows eating meat makes us taller and stronger. Though it has to be said, not everyone agrees. The British Dietetics Association, who represents dietitians, they say there is no evidence vegan and vegetarian children suffer impaired development from those diets. Are there social implications to consider? The charity Animal Aid claims 1 in 5 veggie kids experiences bullying at school or feels embarrassed about being different. I'm tempted to go boo-hoo because I think 1 in 5 children experiencing bullying perhaps suggests that vegan diet's a really good way to avoid bullying. If 4 out of 5 aren't being bullied, I thought everybody did. Roxana, should you be blessed with children? Would you start them?
I'm going to be really unpopular, I know, but yes, I would. They would. They'd have the same diet to me. But I want to say straight away, it would be a balanced diet. For me, I don't like to say I'm a vegan. I don't eat meat and I don't have dairy, but I also, like I was just saying earlier, I don't have any E numbers, I don't have any processed foods, or I try to have as little amount of processed foods as possible. So I think it's about creating a balanced diet. I do take supplements.
Can I just say, I back all this up because before we came on air, Roxana was at pains to stress it. I'm not, don't define me as a vegan.
Yeah,
but I will.
I like to, to have a balanced diet, and I think whether you're a meat eater, whether you're a vegetarian, whether you're a vegan, you have to create a balanced diet for yourself and for your children if you want good health. And I don't think it matters whether you're vegan, vegetarian or a meat eater. I think you can provide a healthy diet for your child.
Why are you a vegan? What was your...
I was vegetarian when I was 8. My mum wasn't. I went vegetarian at 8 because my mum was studying theology at Manchester University, and she started telling me about different ways that people lived, and all of a sudden I realised that some people didn't eat animals. And it's the first time I thought about it, and I kind of went, I don't want to eat animals anymore, Mum. And she said, you will, and she kept putting meat in front of me. And after a couple of weeks, she let me be veggie. And then when I was 21, I had quite bad acne. And apparently by stopping dairy, that would help clear up my skin, and it did. But then I went on to find out about the treatment of dairy cows in the dairy industry, and that then decision was made. I just thought I'd stick with it. So it's health reasons, it's vanity, and also it's really encouraged me to eat a lot more fresh fruit and vegetables.
You brought some food you baked for us yourselves.
This is also in my little recipe book. These are my fantastic...
I found it
delicious.
What is this, by the way?
So it tastes all right. And well, I thought it was a bit like trill.
What is it?
It's what? It's what?
Bird food.
No, but it tasted nice.
No, she's made this herself for you.
This is gorgeous. This is like a fruity
it?
scone. It's lovely. It's really nice.
Actually, I'm re-evaluating it now. It's delicious.
It's in my little recipe book as well. It's fantastic flapjacks. They only take 5 minutes to make. It's just full of...
Comes with the DVD. So
it's fruits, strawberries, almonds, raisins, oats, a little bit of almond milk, a little bit of fruit sugar.
Are you religious?
Mixed all together. I would say I'm spiritual, not religious. I don't kind of go with any one doctrine.
Because there is that thing about vegans, isn't there? That sort of hair shirt wearing, a bit holier than thou. Not you, of course.
Do you know what I find?
With your flapjacks. No, seriously, I'm being serious. Some of the ones that I've met, I mean, I've got a mate who, him and his wife went vegan about 10 years ago, but the kids do eat meat. And I don't think, and also we've got binocular vision. We are predators. You know, meat is part of our diet, really.
Is there a comparison to be made between a family that chooses to bring their children up, say, as Catholics from birth, and someone who chooses to impose a non-conventional diet?
Oh, absolutely. I think so. You should never deprive a kid of a fish finger sandwich. And then, well, no, and also, what about you as a northern... You know, can you imagine taking some poor kid from the north and denying him meaty gravy on his chips? I couldn't do it.
That's like me saying, oh, how can you feed your poor child a little dead sheep? I'm not going to do that because I just feel like...
Morrissey used to call it, didn't he?
I feel like a lot more meat eaters have a problem with me being vegan than I do with anyone eating meat. I would never say to you, so, would you raise your children on meat, and why?
The only problem you have is if someone comes out of your house and they're vegan, you think, what can I give them?
That it takes... I was just announced, I've got a friend she's a vegetarian, and recently she actually had what was the adult version of rickets. She had vitamin B12 levels were really low, her D, her white cell counts, and she was poorly. And it was because she'd been a long-term vegetarian, but she's also a very busy woman with a busy life. And she didn't actually have the time to put the thought into what she was eating and the preparation and everything else.
Cheese and tomato pizza for 11 years.
Yeah, and I think if you're a vegetarian, it actually takes far more thought than being a meat eater. And if you're going to be a parent and raise your children as vegetarians, then you have an extra responsibility and an extra time commitment to make sure that you give them the right nutrients.
Is there a comparison with religion? Is any... No, that you don't think that imposing a construct that is a religion on a child is no different from imposing a constructed diet on a child?
No, I think a parent who brings up their children as vegetarians is being more responsible because, well, you know, it depends where you look at it, but the research now that if you eat so many portions of red meat per week, you're far more likely to develop bowel cancer. So I think there
really good at getting over the hurdles.
I think on a growing, developing body, they need the vitamins.
No, they don't. They can get them yeah, but you can get them in supplements.
The phones are much hotter.
Half supplements don't work.
We're going to go to the phones at home. The ringing red hot. Kirsty, what are people saying?
We have Lisa online one.
Lisa, good morning.
Good morning.
Should vegans impose their diet on their children?
Well, I don't like the word impose.
I'm sure you don't. You must be a vegan then, Lisa.
Yeah, I'm definitely a vegan. My child has never been ill.
Right.
He gets all the nutrients he needs in his plant-based diet.
Right. Okay. So...
you are imposing your views on your child.
I didn't know I had a child.
I did not give my child chemicals, hormones and preservatives in his diet, and he's never been ill, and there's the proof.
Yeah, but I still don't have a child, Lisa, but thank you for the call. OK, well, what about... So, is there a comparison to be made? I like the religion one, but is there a comparison to be made between putting your religion on your child and putting your diet on your child?
No, there's no difference. You should let them make their own mind up, which I do. I educate him where his food comes from, and he makes his own mind up. Most parents don't tell their children where their food comes from.
So, Lisa, you're saying that if your son said, can I have a horse burger, you wouldn't hesitate to get him a horse burger, cook it up for him and serve him?
He wouldn't want one because he's educated where it comes from, and if you ask any child, would they really want to kill a horse and eat it? Of course they wouldn't. All children are born with compassion until parents throw it out.
Have you educated your child, Lisa, or have you brainwashed him?
I have totally and utterly educated him.
But there is, I was going to say there is a holier than thou thing. I remember the Manchester band James, great band, and they were all vegans.
Sitting down, weren't they?
They were all vegans for a while.
That's why they were sitting down, too tired.
But there was a lad I knew.
And they kept telling us to sit down. Sit down, sit down.
Was a session musician with them, and he sneaked off to the pub one day, and they caught him having a ploughman's lunch.
No.
And it was like shock horror, you know.
OK. Lisa, forgive me, we're just having a bit of fun. Thank you for the call. Let's have another.
We have Ben online too.
What's your Ben? Good morning.
Hello.
Hello. Imposing, laying on, offering, compelling a child to have a vegan diet, is that the same as urging your child, imposing your religion on your child? Is there a comparison to be made?
Well, I don't think so, and I think all this nonsense about the diet being less healthy, I mean, medical authorities, including the British Medical Association, agree that a proper, well-planned vegan diet is suitable for children of all ages.
I think it's the well-planned bit is where the wheel can come off the food bus.
Yeah, but any diet can be ill thought out. But in contrast, it's the meat and dairy products and eggs, all of which contain cholesterol and saturated fats, which are the main culprits in the obesity epidemic in the UK.
Yeah.
And these contribute to the top killers like heart attacks, strokes, and diabetes, which is why in the States, the Physicians Committee of Responsible Medicine recommends a vegan diet for children and adults of all ages.
OK, so you think it's a good idea? You're a vegan yourself, are you, Ben?
Yeah, I'm a vegan, and my child will be brought up vegan as well.
OK, and if you're
until they're old enough, of course, to make their own decisions.
Yeah, and...
Dairy does give me a bit of a rash, actually, so I avoid it, really, in the main.
Glad to hear it. So good. So it's just interesting that choice is still on the menu. Thank you, Ben.
We have Saf on line 4.
Morning, Saf.
Morning.
Morning.
I'm a vegetarian.
OK.
So my partner isn't.
Right.
And we've agreed that if we do have kids, if he's cooking, they'll eat meat, and if I'm cooking, they'll eat something vegetarian. Because I was given the choice, and I'd want my kids to have both sides of the argument, essentially, so they can make their own informed decision instead of just one side.
Yeah, I think it's a great way. I mean, you may know I was vegetarian for 11 years, and I still eat vegetarian food. I don't mean I eat a carrot. I'm telling Roxanne, vegetarian chili I've had most of this week. I'm easy one way or the other. It's about imposing on kids, and it's quite interesting. You immediately sound on the telephone. You've got a more relaxed, laissez-faire approach to how your children are going to eat, and it doesn't sound, and I'm not, the word that comes immediately to mind is prejudicial, that it's very easy for callers to say, vegans, which does require a lot of planning and thought, to say that I'm educating my child, but I just wonder how rounded that education is. You know, there are bad slaughterhouses and there are good slaughterhouses. Things die, things grow. And
did you start eating meat again? Because my partner's vegetarian, and for the first one, he wouldn't even allow meat in the fridge.
No,
so to get him to eat meat would be impossible, I think.
That's my first wife to blame.
Parents can use being a vegetarian.
A dry night's sleep means she wakes up ready to discover. A dry night's sleep means he wakes up ready to play. Because a dry night's sleep can mean happier mornings. Pampers.
Just to give the kids beans on toast every night.
Delicious.
Easy option.
Got to take a break, after which we're going to find out if you were made to be embarrassed about your weight, would the shame be enough